you should be able to see my screen. Y'all please let me know if you can't. So let's go back to the homepage for your strategy course. This is it. Some of you have asked me about your CAPSIM simulation industry ID changing, and that's a good observation. Your industry ID will be unique to everyone else in the class. When you registered for the CAPSIM, I formed a company for you. Your company name is your last name, you'll notice, and your industry ID also changes to a unique one that's unique only to you, to your account. So you didn't sign up for the wrong industry. You did it right. I just formed a company, and then that gave you an independent, a unique industry ID when I did that for you. So you are a separate company from everybody else in the class, and you will be making all the decisions just for the practice rounds. That will change once we start the team competition rounds. So I'm going to get to that in just a minute. But let's just talk about what else we're going to do this week. We are moving on to the second module, learning module. I did open up the personal bio assignment again, because again, there were some folks who had not completed that. We had drop and add until last Friday, so I thought it was appropriate to open this up. For those of you who added the course late and you still need a little bit of time to get caught up, email me. For the rest of us, most everybody did all of the first week assignments, so good job there. But do complete the personal bio. And with that, a few people forgot to put their headshot there. So we do want to see, be able to put a face with a name. Make sure that you're answering all the questions I have here, and especially what is the best meeting day and time for you. And some people are saying, well, I'm flexible anytime. Others are saying only certain days of the week. So please let me know, especially let your team know if there are only certain days and especially times during the day that you can meet, because that's going to become more critical once we start the team projects. Okay. And again, you guys interrupt me if you have any questions, if I'm going too fast with all of this. I think most people have registered for the CAPSIM simulation, but I do want to point out a few things here. We have, I think, a total of 51 in this online class, and right now only 44 out of the 51 have signed up for it. So we have some folks who still have not signed up. Let me make something clear on this, and that is just, again, it's in your syllabus and I think in the course contract as well that everybody signed. You cannot complete this course if you have not finished the 4 practice rounds. We will have 4 practice rounds. So I'm going to log into one of the students' accounts here. I'm just pulling up the first one that I see. We will have 4 practice rounds. Now, although these are practice rounds, I know some of you will look at it and go, well, that says competition round 1. It will say competition round 1, but you're competing with 5 other computer-generated teams. You are one company in an industry of 6 companies. So you're competing with 5 other computer-generated teams in the practice rounds. So this is for practice. But before we get started with the practice rounds, before we even start talking about practice round decisions, which we will talk about beginning next week, you need to finish all 3 parts of the tutorials. Now, how do you do that? Well, if you go to the top where your dashboard is and you click on the Getting Started, you will see, a video, short introductory lesson. They'll talk to you about the guide. You want to look over the guide. That's the player's guide. And just follow this in the order presented. You'll have a rehearsal tutorial, and you'll have to open that. So go from left to right as you normally would and complete all of these activities. The quiz, the rehearsal tutorial, two parts of these tutorials won't take you much time. Don't change your company name. It says join a company. You've already have a company. I've already formed a company for you. So you can skip that step. Don't change the name of your company. Um, but the situation analysis will take you some time. All right. When you go through this situation analysis, it's going to, at first, it might seem a little confusing. Just take it one step at a time. You might have to go through this more than once. Most people go through it more than once to get it right. But read through this and go through every step in the situation analysis. That's where you're going to get hung up a little bit. That's going to take a little bit more time. So going through the three-part tutorial, including this last part, which is the situation analysis, where you go through, what is a perceptual map? Each one of these, you're going to take them in order. Demand analysis is going to ask you to do some things in each one of these to complete these little assignments. At first, it might seem confusing, but go along with it. Keep trying, and you will get it. And again, you don't have to just rely on doing it one time and the score you get that one time. No, go through it more than once so that you can maximize your grade. This is what is going to take you a little more time. Most students spend an hour and a half to 2 hours on the situation analysis, but it explains a lot about how the program works. And I'll guarantee you at first you'll think, I still don't understand it. But as we go along through the practice rounds, I promise you it will get clearer and you'll start feeling a lot more comfortable with it. So you might feel a little uncomfortable. You might feel a little frustrated. Learning can be frustrating in the beginning, but I promise you this will come. So just be patient with yourself, be patient with it, and just go through it one step at a time and you'll get it. But do finish the three-part tutorial. When you come back to your dashboard, to this page, this is called the dashboard, you should have each one of these items completed: the introductory lesson quiz, the rehearsal tutorial, and the situation analysis. Again, the situation analysis is the one that will take the most time. So we want to finish the tutorials this week by Sunday night. Plan on spending a couple of hours on this. And again, what we don't want to do with the simulation in general is you don't want to get behind. So, and I mentioned that again because the people who have trouble in this class are the ones who put off doing this, who put off the simulation. I don't know why, maybe out of fear of doing it, out of frustration, I'm not sure, but don't put it off. Go ahead and get started and just take it one step at a time. Don't get frustrated or impatient with yourself. It will come. It's okay to ask another classmate for help. All right. And it's okay for you to call the CAPSIM helpline. It's probably easier than emailing. And there's also a open AI chatbot that might be helpful to you. I'm not sure how specific that would be. I think it is mainly better with generic help. You can try that. But if you call the helpline, they're normally there for technical problems that you might be having. But if you run into a specific problem doing the tutorials, they may be able to help you there as well. It's okay to ask another student. And the other thing you can do is let me go back to if you have a question, it's making me sign in. Isn't that frustrating? It's making me sign in again. I've already signed in. I hate it when it knocks you out like that. Let me get signed back in, guys. Sorry about this. Let's see. One. Okay, so you will also notice on the discussion board, there is a place for you to post questions. So you see I don't know if you guys have ever used this. It's probably for everyone. You see, someone has already posted as far as we will be managing our sign company as a team with different roles, right? I'm a little confused. All right. So it starts off, and I'm going to go ahead and reply to this. But it starts off as a individual assignment. So when you start the CAPSIM simulation, change your role here, make sure that I can reply to it. When you start this CAPSIM simulation, it is an individual assignment in the practice rounds. We will all go through 4 practice rounds as an individual owner of your own company. You're acting in the role of a CEO of your own company, and you'll be competing with 5 other computer generated teams. All right. And so we're not going to start off in team mode with the simulation. We will start off in individual practice mode. And so you will go at your own pace. You don't have to consult with any teammates on that. This is not a team assignment. This is an individual assignment. And so if you look at your grades, you'll notice that let me go in and hold on. I am going to put it in student view mode, and we'll take a look at your grades. You'll notice that part of your grades will be the individual simulation practice, and that counts for 10% of your grade. And then there is a team simulation performance. We won't start the team part of this until almost midterm. So for the first so many weeks, and the next 5 or 6 weeks, we are going to be practicing individually and learning the simulation program. And remember, the rules are that you cannot be assigned to a team until you have finished all 4 practice rounds. So you need to go in and jump in, do what you need to do, and finish the 4 practice rounds. The students, again, that are not successful in this class are the ones who, for whatever reason, don't start the practice rounds, or when they do start the practice rounds, they start it so late they can't get caught up, because it does take some time. So let's take it a little bit each week. Don't wait till 2 or 3 weeks from now to get started on this, or you might not be able to catch up. And I've had some students who are good students who just procrastinated on this. So that's why I have these deadlines set up where you can see that practice round 1 is going to be due on February the 1st. That means that we're going to get through the 3-part tutorials this week. That's going to be due this week. And then after you finish the 3-part tutorials, then and only then do we start on the practice rounds. And when we meet next Tuesday, we'll talk about how you enter decisions as an individual, not as a team, in the practice rounds. And you'll need to finish as an individual. You'll need to finish 4 rounds of practice. And we'll talk more about that next week. I don't want to overload you right now. But this week, let's just take it one baby step at a time. This week, let's have on our calendar, let's finish the tutorials. And you will feel like once you start on the tutorials, you will feel like at first that, it's confusing to you. That's a normal feeling, and that it might feel a little overwhelming, but just keep at it and keep doing a little bit each week. And I promise you it will come. But I'm going to need everyone to start on the tutorials. We're not asking you at this point to start on the practice rounds. I would hold off on the practice rounds until we've talked next week. You can always work ahead, though. You can go ahead if you want to jump in and try the practice rounds. You certainly can. I've always said that that's not a bad thing. If you want to work ahead, you can. You might email me and ask me a question about the practice rounds, and I might tell you, well, we're going to cover that in our online meeting on Tuesday. If it's an easy question for me to answer through email, I'll answer it. But I would want you to wait until after we've covered it in class, and because it just causes a little bit more confusion for everyone. And I think, if you want to work ahead, do that. If you get stuck, just stop and let's wait until we've talked in class online. But let's do the tutorials this week so that we can start on the practice rounds next week. You also have, at the same time, we're multitasking because you also need to get through the week 2 module. We do have, let me change this back to, yeah, we have student view. We do have several things we need to get through in the week 2 module. Look at the PowerPoints we have. Let me make sure this video is working. Yes, we have a video that you should watch on developing vision and mission statements. Another very short video is another YouTube video. Some of these videos are not by me. I want you to hear from other people in the field as well, what they have to say. And then you have your weekly quiz. Just about every week you'll have a weekly quiz, so look for that. And you can see the last thing that you need to complete is the 3-part tutorials that we just talked about in the simulation. So that's what we want to do this week. I don't want to start talking about the practice rounds yet because we're going to cover that next week in next Tuesday's meeting. So the main thing I want to reiterate is that try not to get behind in this class because it is difficult to get caught up. Those who are not successful in finishing the requirements of the course is because they allowed themselves to get too far behind and they can't get caught up, because a lot of these activities are time consuming, but if you break it up by week and do a little bit each week, then it's very doable. So we will start forming teams at the end of this week, but we won't have any real big team assignments for several weeks. Right now, we're going to be working individually in the simulation, working on our practice rounds and having everybody on the team learn the simulation. So before I allow anybody to join a team, I want to be sure that everybody on your team is familiar with this simulation enough to add to the discussions and add to the debate about what should be done when you make decisions for your company. Okay. Any other questions did I miss someone? Did someone hold their hand up? Any questions about what's going on this week, guys?
There's one in the chat.
There's one in the chat. Let me get that. Okay. Okay. I completed the second section, but it's still showing as incomplete. I followed all the steps, and I also read that this might be a system bug. Are you able to see it on my end? Okay, so I get a report in the CAPSIM simulation. Let me go back to I get a report in the CAPSIM simulation that tells me who has and who has not completed the rehearsal tutorials. So I see that there have been, let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people have already completed all 3 parts of the tutorial. So I know because I can see this tells me that the situation analysis has been completed. If you have a situation where you're trying to, now I see BUSA, it looks like you've completed part of it, but not all of it. So if you still believe you've completed more than one part, then that's a good time for you to call the CAPSIM technical helpline to see why you're having these technical issues. They're usually very responsive and they can answer your question because they've been dealing with these types of questions all day long. So I have found them to be easy to understand. They can explain things in pretty simple terms, and they're usually very responsive. They're there all day long, Monday through Friday, not 24/7, but I think it's between 9 and 7, something like that. And you can also email them on the weekends. I found that they usually reply pretty promptly, pretty quickly. So that's the kind of question that you would ask the CAPSIM technical helpline if you feel like you are having a technical issue. If it's not something that maybe you didn't click on a save button or something like that. If it's not that, but again, don't get frustrated. There is help there. and just keep going, keep giving it your best shot, keep trying, and it's okay to ask questions. You can put them on the discussion board. You can ask other students questions to see if they've run into the same issue. But I would also first call that technical helpline that they have, CAPSIM has. They can probably easily answer your question and help you through that problem. Any other questions for this week? Okay, I am going to stop the recording.